we're going to look at two applications of differential calculus. So the first question asks us to relate basically volume and the depth of water in the trough. So you can read the question, and so the first thing we need to do is find the volume in terms of the depth of water in the trough. So let's let the depth be, say, h over here. So we want to find the volume of the water in terms of h, so v in terms of h essentially. So to do that, we know that the length of the trough is 6 meters, that's given to us. So v is equal to length times cross-sectional area. We know that the length is 6 meters, and we can find the cross-sectional area using trigonometry. So there are several ways you can do this, but one way is to notice that the triangle here is similar to the original triangle. So similar meaning it's like a scale factor enlargement, or yeah, it's a scale factor enlargement of the original triangle, but the scale factor is less than 1, so it actually diminishes. Anyway, and so to find the area of the smaller triangle, you just need to find the scale factor of proportionality between the two triangles. And that scale factor, you can find that several ways, but we can look at the ratio of the height of the second triangle to the first triangle. So the first triangle has a height which we can find using Pythagoras' theorem. We know that this length here is 1/2 because it's half of this entire length, and we know that this triangle is equilateral. So this entire length is 1 meter long, and so half of that is half a meter. And so this height over here would be the square root of 3 over 2 meters. And because we have h here, in this smaller triangle being the height of the smaller triangle, we know that the scale factor of proportionality that takes us from the big triangle to the small triangle would be just h over root 3 over 2. But of course we want to find an area, and so we actually square this scale factor of proportionality, so we get h over square root of 3 over 2 squared, and then we multiply that by the original area to find the final area, the area of the small blue triangle. And the area of the original triangle would be, you can use several things again, but we can just see that the height, as we said, is square root of 3 over 2, and the base length is 1, and if you multiply that by 1/2, you get the area of the original triangle, and that's square root of 3 over 4. And so we multiply by square root of 3 over 4. And just to recap, what we've done here is find the original area of the triangle, and then multiply it by the square of the scale factor of proportionality between the small triangle and the big triangle to get the area of the small triangle. Okay, and now we can just simplify this. So we can bring the 2 to the numerator. We're still squaring this. So the squared expression becomes 4h squared over 3, and then we multiply that by square root of 3 over 4. The 4's cancel, and the 3 cancels with the 6, leaving us with 2, and so this becomes 2 square root of 3h squared. Okay, so now we've related volume and h. You always need to do this. You're often given something which you know is varying. In this case, it's the volume, and you want to find something else, or find out how something else is varying. And so it's very important to relate the two quantities, like we've done here by relating volume and h. Okay, so now we look to what we know about the original quantity, which is volume, and we know that the volume varies such that dv dt is negative 0.1, and that's because the volume decreases at a constant rate of 0.1 meters cubed. Okay, and so now what we're looking for is the h dt, And so we can relate dv dt to dh dt by using the chain rule. So that just tells us that dv dt is equal to dv dh multiplied by dh dt. Okay, so dv dh multiplied by dh dt is equal to negative 0.1. Okay, so we now need to find dv dh. Well, we've already found that because we know what v is in terms of h. So v is 2 square root of 3h squared, and so dv dh is 4 square root of 3h. And now often you would be asked to find dv dh at a specific height or at a specific point, so that you can find dh dt at a specific point. And in this case, the point is when h is 0.2, because it's when the water is 20 centimeters deep. 20 centimeters is just 0.2 meters, and so that's when h is 0.2. And so we can just substitute 0.2 and get that this is just 4 square root of 3 over 5. Yep. Okay, and now what we need to do is just substitute that back into our equation. So dv dh times dh dt is equal to negative 0.1. We know that dv dh is 4 square root of 3 over 5 times dh dt equals negative 0.1. And so dh dt is equal to, well, negative 1 over 10 multiplied by 5 over 4 square root of 3. These two cancel, we're left with 2 here. And so we have negative 1 over 8 square root 3, which is the same as negative square root 3 over 24, which gives us, we can just use a calculator at this point, negative 0.0722 to 3 significant figures. Remember that this is meters per minute, and that's because all of the lengths we've been using so far were in meters, and per minute because we're originally given that the volume decreases at a rate of 0.1 meters cubed per minute. Okay, and so we can convert this to centimeters because this is too small a number at this point. So that's just negative 7.22 centimeters per minute. And so we can say that h decreases at a rate of 7.22 centimeters per minute. That's the first question. Now the second question gives us triangle PQR and some other facts about lengths and so on. So it's useful to read that question. But the setup is as follows. We have a triangle PQR. And we're given that PQ is 6 centimeters. And we're also given that QR, which I would call X, varies at a rate of 2 centimeters per minute. Okay. So it's useful to keep in mind the quantity, the units being used. So it's like 6 centimeters, and here it's 2 centimeters per minute. Okay. And now we want to find out how the angle here, which is angle QPR, let's call that theta, how that changes when x is at a specific value, namely 8 centimeters. So again, as before, we need to relate x and theta together. So this is just a right angle triangle. So immediately we can see that tan theta is equal to x over 6, and therefore x is equal to 6 tan theta. And we know that dx dt is equal to we know that dx dt is equal to 2 centimeters per minute, and so we want to, and we're looking for d theta dt, so we want to relate the two together. So again, we just use the chain rule. So we can see that dx dt is just equal to dx d theta times d theta dt. So we know that the x dt is 2 centimeters per minute, and we know that the x d theta, we can find that from our expression for x in terms of theta. That would just be 6 secant squared theta, and d theta dt is just what we're looking for. So we want to find out what d theta dt is. So let's rearrange the equation. This gives us 1/3 of cosine squared theta, because secant is just 1/3 cosine, so sec is 1/3 cos. Okay, so we know that we're looking for d theta dt at a specific value of x, which also gives us a specific value of theta. So let's find that specific value. So when x is equal to 8 centimeters, theta here, notice by the way that this is a 3, 4, 5 triangle in disguise, because this is just 3, 4, 5 but multiplied by 2. So we have 6, 8, 10 centimeters, and so theta would be, cosine of theta would be 3/5. So we can substitute that. That's 1/3 times 3/5 squared, which is equal to 3/25, which is equal to 0.12. It's centimeters per minute. 0.12 degrees, radians per minute, probably. Yes, radians per minute. So that's how to solve both of these questions. The key idea is to relate x and theta, or relate the variable that you know things about to the variable that you want to find, and to also use the chain rule in order to relate, as we did here, the x dt to d theta dt.